Thanks for tuning back in. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify at Queen City Dog Talk. Welcome back to Queen City Dog Talk, everyone. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Drew.
And it is going to be a hyped episode because there's a lot of hype going into the Georgia-Tennessee game. And this episode is going to be hyped because of that. And, of course, final score, 27-13, your Georgia Bulldogs.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of hype coming into the week. ESPN, college football playoff rankings, all that jazz. Got all Tennessee fans all hyped up. Probably those players there that was just hearing all that rat poison were ready to go. Thought they were coming into Sanford Stadium. Had some of their past great Tennessee football players. But, it's not hard to play at Georgia. It's not loud at Georgia. And they come into Sanford Stadium. Vince Dooley Field, and what happened?
27-13.
They got smacked
Georgia
down.
Bulldogs.
Georgia totally owned them. So, great game, a lot of excitement, great fans.
Yeah.
You want to do a little breakdown?
Let's go ahead and do that. But before we go ahead and do that, speaking of great fans, the Alps have brought it. Pre-game, during the game, and after the game. Pre-game at College Game Day.
Atmosphere was great.
Who's that coming down the track?
Yep. Loved how they started that. Started
guy.
the chant. So funny watching Herb Street and watching how he reacted to that, just dying laughing, and then asking, "Is that real? Is that a real chant?" They've been there so many times and they didn't know that. Love that dude brought it. I can't remember his name right now, but anyways, he's bringing a lot of energy to that set.
So.
Really awesome. Love the way that started. Fans were into it.
Yeah.
We're there. Coach Smart called us out, called the fans out, and the fans showed up, which there was no doubt in my mind that was going to happen.
They showed up. Sanford Stadium, Vince Dooley Field, 100% capacity, 92,746 people were there, barking and hollering, supporting and committing to the G.
Yep, absolutely.
Great
it was awesome. But, getting into the game, it started off a little rough for Georgia. We got the ball, started on offense. It was great. And then fumbled the ball right on over to them within the first few plays. So that was a little bit concerning. And
one of our 2 turnovers right there.
Yeah, we got to do something about keeping up with the ball. Way too many turnovers this year. But you see that happening in this prolific offense that Tennessee's bringing to the field. Has got a short field. And you're like, you've got to be kidding me. But we do have an awesome defense. So there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. So we knew that it'd be a good defense, defensive play, defensive stop if we could hold them to 3 points right there. Which
we did.
Yeah, thankfully so. So that was good. Then we get the ball back, and what do we do from there?
Well, our first touchdown was Stetson Bennett, 13-yard run, which was absolutely amazing. Great. So we're going to go ahead and watch that real quick. Oops, I don't have it queued up. While that's
getting got it right there.
Queued up. Oh, here it is. All right. So you also just Spotify. I'm going to narrate it for you. Absolute amazing rush. Not amazing rush. Not a good rush. Got rushed, right? Broke that tackle. Got the first down and ran it on in, which was great. Dove in for the pylon. But to be honest, I think that could honestly been a targeting, and I don't know how it was a targeting. You want to explain that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, you see the rush come, and you think, oh, great, here we go. And Stetson just takes off, runs to the near side, and stretches out to the pylon. It looks like the guy used his helmet as I wouldn't say necessarily as a weapon, but definitely looked like he led with his helmet and hit Stetson's helmet. So I'm not sure how that's not targeting. I know on the radio we were listening at that particular point, and they said that maybe it's because that Stetson was not a defenseless player, but yet he was diving for the end zone. So I'm not sure how he wasn't defenseless. But anyways, regardless, whatever. It is what it is. He got the touchdown and then threw up the call sign there, right?
Which y'all probably know Mr. Bennett's phone number got leaked. So Tennessee fans, and I hope not Tennessee players, but sounds like Tennessee, were calling him all night, and he said that he woke up to 600 to 700 missed calls.
Yeah.
Just for one night.
Very reminiscent
Crazy.
of back in the day when that happened with Tim Tebow at LSU, when LSU fans got a hold of his number and gave him a few rings. But, hey, stir us up, man. You talk all that trash all week long. Tennessee's coming in. They're going to come in and just take care of business, beat down Georgia. They're now the number one CFP team in the land. And they got a hold of our quarterback's phone number. So, you can't tell me that didn't fire our guys up. And Stetson, he said at the end of the game, they were motivated. They were felt a little bit disrespected. Felt like being the defending national champs, that they got to come on our turf and beat us. And they could. So, very, very good way to start, good way to answer back the fumble, great defense, and then drive it down the field. And I'm not sure if that was that next possession or not. I think it was. I'm having a hard time remembering. But anyways, got the touchdown on a Bennett run. It was great. And then...
but before we hop onto that real quick, that dive, to be honest, I did get a little nervous about his shoulder because his shoulder has been giving him some trouble. And I'm like, uh-oh, can he still chuck it like the mailman always does? But Ladd McConkey said, he can do it. And Bennett said, all right, 37-yard pass from Stetson Bennett to Ladd McConkey. Absolutely zipped it right in there. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about the series right before that and how that kind of got set up. So went back and forth a little bit with Tennessee. They stopped us on the next drive. We had to punt it. Amazing 75-yard punt went down as it was going out of the field of play right there near the one. When the Tennessee guy stopped and decided he was going to let it bounce, watching number one, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but you could see like he just kicked it into another gear, hustled, went after the ball, and if that ball was not going to go out at the one, he was going to make sure it was not going to get in the end zone. So very impressive play, very happy, thrilled with the way he reacted and went after the ball. So that was absolutely awesome. So Tennessee had to start inside their own one, up against the student section with our D. Seriously, like that is not going to be a good thing for you. So anyways, they ended up having the ball pushed back at the 3rd-yard line. They were third down. They're basically still right there. They did move up, but then we got them back. I think false start maybe pushed them back to where they had gotten a little bit of a 4 or 5 yard run, got pushed right back, and then we knocked the ball out of Hooker's hand, and their tackle, I think it was, their lineman jumped on it and was trying to get it out of the end zone. And I don't know how that was not a safety. My understanding is the ball has to come all the way out of the end zone into the field of play to not be a safety. I don't know how that dude was down and that ball was not still a part of it anyways in the end zone. So kind of discouraged with that. Didn't really care how that kind of panned out, but Tennessee ends up kicking it from their own field goal, from the back of their own end zone. And Georgia, got the ball, and then first play, man, take a shot. Love it. Absolutely love it. McConkey made a nice little move, got his guy on the outside, and was wide open in the end zone, and Bennett hit him with a beautiful pass.
He did.
So then we were up, 14-3?
Yeah, 14-3, Georgia. And Bennett, he found those passes at the back of the end zone and the front end zone. He also found Marcus Rosemary Saint, the 5-yard pass from Stetson Bennett. But you're like, a 5-yard pass? Like, anyone can do that. No. Rosemary
Jack Saint.
Jack Saint, and then Bennett timed it perfectly, running right across from the field goal, threw it up. He came in and toe-touched it right in. Amazing catch. Touchdown, Georgia. It was amazing. And I'm just thinking, like, why is he doing all this and all this? I'm like, well, there's no way to express my excitement. I am a little tired, but still, it was amazing toe touch by Marcus Rosemary Jack Saint.
Very good. Beautiful pass right underneath the crossbar. put up there where, Marcus was pretty much the only one that could grab that, and he did. So it was absolutely awesome.
Yep. Can agree with that. And then the last two scores for Georgia was by kicker Jack Panunsley. Forgot how to say
You're
it.
going to make me say it. I have to look at it to say it.
Well, Jack.
Padinsky, I think is how you say something like
Jack P.
that.
Scored us. What was it? Scored us in the second quarter and then the third quarter. 2 amazing field goals.
Padinsky. Yeah, I feel awful.
Me too.
Well, before that, we're talking about the defense. They had great plays, played really well. Really happy with what they did. Tennessee came in and, had this prolific offense. They're talking about their offensive line, all things they've done, how well they rushed, and Georgia just really shut them down.
Did.
We had to do a lot. We played man on man. Talked about it a lot too.
Yep.
So Georgia knew we got dudes in the secondary, absolute dudes. And the one that we know that's been great for Georgia is your man, Keely Ringo. Right? So he had another great play here.
He did. And he definitely played man-to-man on this one.
Yep, for sure. Hooker's looking, he thinks he's got a shot on him, but Ringo was there step for step, got the inside track, basically really just became the wide receiver and got that Willie Mays catch over his shoulder there. Absolutely awesome. I'm not really sure. Looked to me like it was offensive passing interference as he tugged him and was all over him. But, Ringo had the position and did really great, grabbed that ball, and really, kind of helped kill some potential swings and the momentum there. So, absolutely, just awesome. You can see his head kind of get pulled a little bit there as well. So, absolutely awesome play by Ringo. Really helped to set the tone, keep the defense going and into it. What more can you say? You talk about the defensive play. Georgia had come into this game only getting 10 sacks in the first 7 games of the season.
Yep.
And got 6 on Saturday. So they came, they brought it. Tennessee was averaging over 500 yards a game, and they didn't even get 300 against Georgia.
Yeah.
They too had 2 turnovers. So we were even on the turnover ratio there.
And possession,
to be honest. Pretty even on possession. But, they even had more first downs than Georgia did, which I wouldn't have predicted while watching that game.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed that Georgia just had control of the game the whole time. Very pleased with how Georgia played and what they did.
Yeah. So, is that everything pretty much have to review on the Tennessee game?
I think so. Just want to mention how awesome the crowd was. The crowd noise was there.
Great.
When they had an interview with Coach Smart after the game, and he's having that conversation, I look behind him and see the stands, and it looked like nobody left.
An incredible environment. I remember I got a text from my wife. I've never seen our fans not leave the stadium like that, even when it rained.
Rain came, nobody left.
Yep.
Still kept up all the noise. Was there supporting the team. How many false starts were there? 6 or 7?
Yeah.
That was because of the fans. That's what you need. That's home field advantage. Just proud to be a Dawg with everything that happened, and just so happy to see all the fans still there when the game's still over. Like, we like staying and watching the kids celebrate, watching what happens, listening to the band, and just kind of enjoying that whole atmosphere. And most of the times people are leaving even before the game's over. Like, we entered the game right when Edwards got that run, which was a great run right there at the very end, really worked hard to get that first down. That sealed the game. You would think that a lot of people would probably leave, especially being wet and whatnot, but they didn't. They hung around. It was loud. People were there, supportive. Awesome.
And they committed to the G.
They did, yep. Just very impressed with the whole game. Whole atmosphere, everything.
Yes. I mean, and there's all this hype of stuff for Tennessee. Being number 1, all the Tennessee fans reacting, oh yeah, we're number 1. oh, for the national championships, we're champions, this and that. And then all the press and media all up on them, giving all this hype. I feel like Georgia took that as an offense and kind of, took it, they balled it up, and they lit it on fire. They let that control them, in which they did. And the score, you could say that Georgia did not run over Tennessee, but if you watch the game, we ran over Tennessee.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's a frustrating thing when, like I was talking with a friend today from out west, and, you know, it's like, yeah, I asked him if we saw the game. It's like, yeah, you know, Georgia beat them. I mean, they didn't, like, totally handle them, but they beat them. They beat them by a couple touchdowns, so it was pretty good. I was like, dude, no. That final score does not really tell you how that game was. Georgia totally dominated. To think that Tennessee's prolific offense came in and was averaging 6 touchdowns a game, come in and only get 1 touchdown in pretty much garbage time. I mean, Georgia held them to 6 points for 55 minutes.
Out of a 60-minute game.
55 minutes. Just awesome. So you can't look at the final score and think that you know what happened with that game. No, it's not. But that's all right. Hey, I hope that keep doing that.
Yep.
Keep doubting the Dogs. Keep thinking, oh, Georgia just barely squeaked by here and there, and you know they're not as good as they're cracked up to be. Go ahead, keep pumping other people above the Dogs because that pisses us off.
It's gonna help.
We come for you. So. We like it. So you want to recap the games from Saturday?
Yes. Let's do that. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll let you go ahead. Yeah, if you want to go ahead on that.
All right. So you had your number 2, Ohio State, playing at Northwestern. It looked like it was a little bit sketchy there at the very beginning of that game. Northwestern jumped out to a 7-0 lead. And then Ohio State tied up before the half.
Yeah.
You look at the weather, you got to think that weather played a part of that game, 1. And 2, Ohio State was probably just really looking over Northwestern, I would say. I mean, Northwestern is 1-7. Ohio State is Ohio State. So they came in probably just thinking it's going to be a cakewalk, which we all know when you're the big dog, you get the target on your back. And so Northwestern, I'm sure, was coming after them and want to make a statement. Well, come out of the half, and Ohio State just got a touchdown each quarter. So ended 21-7. I would think without the weather being part of play in that, they probably would have beat them worse. And then the next team there that was playing in the top 4 was Clemson at Notre Dame. And you want to expand on that?
Yes. So earlier today, I'll just go ahead and say the final score. 35-14 Notre Dame, and then earlier today I was watching a little clip, and it was this guy, I don't know, but he was it was one guy.
YouTube guy.
He was on YouTube, one guy playing 2 different characters. One character was the NCAA division stuff, other character was Clemson. Clemson was in an armrest and or in a band, just all beat up and bruises and stuff. And NCAA was yelling at him "You're my only chance. Why could you do this to us? Come on,
It was an ACC, I think.
ACC, not NCAA.
Yeah, that's all right.
ACC. Just yelling out because it's I'm sorry. Just we just got smacked, and then
pretty much that conference's only chance of getting into the college football playoffs. So
yeah.
I think that just went out the window. I mean, I don't think Clemson plays anybody else the rest of the season anyways.
Yeah.
But this was a hurdle they had to get past, and they didn't.
To be honest, if they did make it to the playoffs, they wouldn't have been strong enough. I feel like they would have been out quickly.
Yep, that's for sure. Michigan had a tough one against Rutgers. Woo!
Yeah.
Beat them 52-17. Wow, what more can you say?
Yeah.
Game of the night. Alabama at LSU. Baton Rouge.
Game of the night.
Love Baton Rouge. That game went into overtime. And LSU pulled it out. So Alabama scored first on their first drive, kicked the PAT, and then LSU scored on their first play, I believe it was, of the overtime, and then they decided to go for a 2. And I loved Coach Brian Kelly's comments after that game. He wanted to give his players opportunity to win the game. He didn't want to lose it. On the chance of Alabama winning it, right, taking it from them. He wanted to be the ones to take it from Alabama. So really awesome. Happy for him. Watched his post-game interview, and you can see his eyes tearing up, and he was just very grateful, really, it seemed like, of the opportunity there at LSU. Very thankful for the way that the LSU family has treated him and the support that he has there and the trust that they've given to him. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Glad to see that. TCU's the other undefeated team, I should say.
Yeah.
They won 34-24. A lot of questions on who they've necessarily played.
True.
So
Very true.
we'll see as things shake out. A couple more teams to go for the CFP. But and then your Oregon Ducks, how'd they do?
Let's see. Before we hop into that, I just want to mention it's TCU, Michigan, Ohio State, and Georgia are the only ones still undefeated. So just looking at that, I just want to mention that out there. But Oregon's looking pretty strong. They played Colorado this weekend, 49-10 Oregon Ducks. I mean, they scored 2 touchdowns in almost for 3 quarters straight, and in the fourth quarter they scored a touchdown, which is absolutely outstanding. And to be honest, Oregon's looking a lot stronger than they did at the beginning of the season too. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, they came into a buzzsaw with Georgia, all hype there at the
Yeah.
Benz. And then, we all know Bo don't know how to beat the Dogs. So
Yeah.
they're running their mouths, so chirping a little bit, saying if they play Georgia now, it'll be a different game. And, I don't know. I think both teams have definitely gotten a lot better, as they should throughout the season. But, you still got Bo. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
And then, since we're in the Queen City, local games, NC State and Wake Forest, 20-30.
21-30, NC State.
NC State.
Yep, they're dogs, man. Wolfpack, so we like NC State. Tulane's making its way up there in the top 20.
They are. Which
So
was
good to see that.
Yeah.
UNC, I'm not really sold on, but they're up there in the top 20 as well.
Somehow, but.
So, anyways, pretty decent matchups last weekend. Some good upsets as well, so that's always fun to see. And then, whenever Georgia wins,
It's always great.
that's right. We've had a good season with lots of W's. So,
Yeah.
looking ahead to this weekend, some of the big games. Georgia travels to Starksville and plays at Mississippi State. So that's going to be noisy there. They've got their cowbells. I'm not sure how that's legal, but they'll be making a lot of noise. And so we're going into a hostile environment. Seems like Georgia plays Mississippi State an awful lot, in the West. Like we played Texas A&M, I think, once.
Yeah. We've gone to that game.
We played LSU once recently, and Ole Miss. So I guess we're playing the other guys in Arkansas. But I don't know. It just seems like we're playing Mississippi State more times than we should. Maybe it has something to do with some bizarro dogs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Who knows?
anyways, that'll be a challenge. Hopefully we'll stay focused. I have all the faith in the world in this coaching staff that will do that. And we'll just see kind of what happens and where we go from there. Opportunity to win and solidify the SEC East.
Yep.
So that would be really big. So we'll see. Other games, big matchup is, of course, Alabama going to Ole Miss. So that's probably the other big game of the weekend for the SEC.
They're competing for the middle of the pack right now.
Well,
anyways.
Ole Miss they only have one loss. So really, it's LSU and Ole Miss now that are kind of leading the West. So big game for both of them. LSU goes to travel to Arkansas, and then Ole Miss has Alabama. Probably a pissed off Alabama coming to them. So
Pissed off Nick Saban.
we'll see what happens there. Tennessee has Missouri coming to town. They should win that. Kentucky has Vanderbilt coming to town. They should win that. Which South Carolina beat Vandy this past weekend. South Carolina goes to Florida. So that could be a decent matchup.
Florida put up like 20 points. I forgot who they played, but they put up
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M was like 41 to something.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think they put up more than that.
They put up a good.
Yeah, they won 41-24.
Yeah, they
put up some points. I tell you, Texas A&M is just an absolute dumpster fire right now.
Yeah.
Very surprised that they're at where they're at. But hey, I'm just thankful it's not Georgia. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
And Texas A&M travels to the Plains to go play Auburn. So I don't know. Is that like the official toilet bowl of the SEC West?
Yeah,
I don't know.
ugly as orange. Yeah.
Yep. So.
Well, I just have a question for you. I think we did this a couple episodes back, but Queen City Dog Talk Player of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the Georgia-Tennessee game, who would you nominate or give that to?
Oh man. Well, I love running backs. We didn't really have a great. I mean, we got good running backs. I think we kind of struggled a little bit with the run. Nobody really shined too much as far as like any receivers. Bowers didn't really have like a huge game.
I was actually kind of sad about that. I kind of wanted to see Bowers run over.
So I love defense. So our defense did great. Carter was awesome in the middle. And I'm trying to think who was it that got 2 sacks coming in from the DB. I can't think of him right now. It wasn't Starks, I don't think. So, anyways, that young man could do it. Ringo with the pick.
Yep.
You know, maybe that could be it. That was phenomenal play. So I'd vote, if it's not the entire defense or even the fans at Sanford Stadium,
Yep.
I would vote one of those guys. Came off the edge there to get 2 sacks, or Ringo.
Yeah, okay. So my nominees are obviously the fans. They brought it and they helped with some of the false starts, which there's like 6 or 7 of those this game, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They helped with that. And a great lead on the sidelines who will be missed and has a pretty big hole in our defense. And a great leader, Nolan Smith. I saw him out on the sidelines, out there encouraging and just being a great teammate. And then my player of the week, I would nominate for one of the best punts so far, I feel like, in Georgia. Number 1, helping that, stopping it at the 1. That's my player of the week, number 1. Absolutely turned on the afterburners like that. Stopped it at the 1. Instead of getting that touchback, he said, it's going to stop at that 1. And he got it. Because of that, they had a kick out of Tennessee, had a kick out of their end zone. Player of the week goes number 1. Sorry I don't know your name, but you deserve it.
Bullard was the guy, the defensive back that I was talking about.
Bullard?
Bullard, yep. They got 2 sacks. So he had a great game. That'll be a name that we'll know too, I'm sure, down the road. But anyways, so great recap. Great game. Very exciting. Anything else you want to say to wrap up this episode of Queen City Dog Talk?
Yes. This is just a little sneak peek real quick, but I think Thanksgiving, Georgia Tech game, we're talking about going to that game and doing a tailgate and then doing a live show at the tailgate or something. So I have to definitely let y'all know, and if y'all want to come swing on by and say hello.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can crash a friend's tailgate.
I hope, and we're going to film Queen City Dog Talk.
His tailgate's been on, has appeared on College Game Day a couple times. Was there last weekend, actually.
Twice. And we've actually been there on College Game Day at the place, and it's great.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely let you know on that, but it's been great.
Yep.
As you can see, there's new set, new mics, everything. It's been amazing.
Yep, good, fun stuff. Please like and subscribe. Please feel free to comment.
Yep. And wherever you're listening or watching, go check it out. So we're on Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah.
But please like, subscribe, follow, and please share it. But it's been an amazing episode, an amazing week, an amazing win with a final score of 27-13, your Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes, sir.
But thank you for watching Queen City Dog Talk. I hope y'all have a great week, and see y'all next week.
Go Dogs.
Sick 'em! Hoo, 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 hoo!